to Crackerjack Movie Chat. I am, as always, your host, Peter J. McCluskey, and with me again is Mr. Robert Tombe.
Gesundheit.
And he said he would come back. He's fulfilled the promise. It's Mr. Ryan McLachlan.
Only a couple of weeks late, but I'm here eventually.
So, guys, I guess we'll just start off with an hour round table of what we've been up to, what we've been watching in general. So, Robert, you're raising your eyebrows. Why don't you kick us off?
Yes, I'm trying to think, what have I watched over the last week? Film-wise, not very much. Again, it's been Netflix releases. The third season of Paradise PD is what I've been watching. I don't know if you've heard of it. If you too, Paradise PD is from the makers of Brickleberry, which I think was on Comedy Central. Over here, I think it's a Fox show. I might be wrong, but it's Wacko Gun, and I can't remember the fella's name, but it's like an animated adult cartoon, should we say? Yeah, they're pretty South Parkish. I mean, so basically, Paradise PD is like an animated comedy about a police force in the town of Paradise, where it's all like hillbillies and Argyle meth, it's called. And basically, this meth is called Argyle meth, and it's just shaped like bagpipes. That was the first season. The second season, you learn who the big kingpin is, and then you learn that he's not really the kingpin. And the third season's like something happened to the tune and they're dealing with it. It's just a really stupid adult comedy. I mean, I'll give you a running line if I could in the third season, just to describe how crude it is. There is a episode in the third season where the main character, or the main police chief, Randall Crawford, puts a prohibition on beer, and his wife says, I mean, the alcohol is hurting everybody. How do you feel? And he goes, well, it hurts me as well. I mean, I can't touch myself unless I'm drunk. I mean, I've even got myself a chug monkey. And it's basically not like that. It's the monkey's only there to hold his penis while he's doing the toilet. But there's a scene where somebody crashes into the police station as he's in the toilet, and he's running, and he's just dragging the monkey along. It's just smacking it. It's basically really crude. It's on Netflix. I think it's great. That's what I've been watching. Suits me. It's my humour.
Yeah, man.
So did the monkey.
Yeah, it's
I'm
weird.
just picturing Malcolm in the middle, the helper monkey now.
That is good. It's I can't remember the characters now after I've made. Even though I was just watching the first season again there. Yeah, if you know the makers of Brickleberry, it's basically enough the same characters, not the exact same, but you can get the similarities. It's great. It is like South Park, except South Park was cartoonish, wasn't it? So there you go.
Yeah, I don't tend to pick up on recent shows that much, but man, that one sentence about the monkey, you've got me intrigued, Robert. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I have recorded a video to show my dad. So at the end, off stream, because I'll show you that.
Cool. So Ryan, what about you?
So I watched a TV show for the last week. I must have done it in about 2 days, called Your Honour with Bryan Cranston. If you haven't seen that at all, definitely give it a bash on Sky. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the best TV shows I've watched in recent years. I don't actually want to say too much about it at all, because I think just go into it not knowing anything. I don't want to spoil anything at all. But that was sensational. I think it's only had the one season as well. But it's got twists in it you just don't see coming. But a film I can talk about more though, an actual one I watched I want to talk a little bit more is I Care a Lot with Rosamund Pike. If any of you seen that at all?
I haven't seen it, but I've been hearing a lot about it, obviously, just because it seems like they're promoting it everywhere just now.
Yeah, that's actually a really good film. I enjoyed that. So basically, she's pretty much like a con artist. So she goes and looks after elderly people. She becomes their carer, essentially. She becomes their power of attorney, and then just steals all their assets and sells off all their assets until she obviously does it to say the wrong person. And it's a mobster's mother. She does that too, and that's Peter Dinklage, which is I think the first time he's been relevant in a long time. But yeah, no, that one's definitely worth a bash as well. It's about 2 hours long, I think, but Rosamund Pike is just fantastic in whatever she does. I think she's one of the actresses you never really hear much about. Whenever she does a film, though, it captivates people. Everyone talks. Have you heard about what she does with her awards as well?
No, no.
But this was in the news recently as well. Any awards she gets, apparently she buries it outside in her back garden.
Random.
It's one way of doing it. What is that? Just a case of someone will move into the house someday and say, "Oh, Rosamund Pike's awards are buried somewhere here as the urban legend. Let's find them."
Oh, they'll make a profit after that. But no, I was trying to Google like more about her and like see what other films she did because I wanted to just continue on watching it after that performance. But I just got carried away with the whole she buries her awards in her back garden. Never heard of that before.
Yeah, let's face it, there should be an hour award there. She should have won that Oscar for Gone Girl, which anyone watching this who's not seen that, go and watch that as well. But yeah, it's a good tip, Brian. I might check that one out. Me personally, of course, I've been continuing my Hitchcock marathon. Just watched Lifeboat, which, as you'd guess, it's all about people in a lifeboat in World War II after a submarine or boat rower has been torpedoed by the Nazis, and you just stay with those characters as they try to survive. And quite an interesting film in that it was made during World War II, and about World War II at the same time. So I don't feel like I've really seen many films, World War II films, that were actually made in the period. And it's actually quite controversial at the time because they pick up a Nazi sailor from a wreck, and there's a lot of thought about, oh, do we treat this guy as the enemy or do we just treat him humanely? And apparently that was just so controversial at the time of like, oh, even given the idea that this Nazi could be a pleasant character, was just no one wanted to hear it at the time. But yep, it's a good film. Like, I'd check it out. Oh, not one of Hitchcock's best, but quite enjoyed it. Aside from that, I know it's a weird time to be doing this, but I've gone back and been watching a lot of Buffy in the last couple of weeks. As I say, weird time with what's been going on with Joss Whedon, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it was there on Star, which has just come as an addendum to Disney Plus. So yeah, I've been watching that and been really enjoying it. So yeah, I'll just leave it there.
Honestly, I've never seen Buffy.
Oh, I've seen bits of Buffy. Speaking of Whedon as well, I was watching another YouTube show called I can't remember actually. You know what? I forgot the name now. It's the one that basically deals with the death count on certain films. If you know what I'm talking, what it's called, basically deals with the death count of like characters, and it was Aliens 4, which is Aliens Resurrection. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't Joss Whedon not write and direct that?
He wrote it. He didn't direct it. It was the guy that made Amelie that directed it.
That's it. That was it. The lines in that were pretty shocking. Does that could do as the worst Aliens film? Is that a 3 in it?
Yeah, but come on, there's the AVP movies after that, so
I don't know. I like Predator. I can deal with that. Like, some of the lines are pretty shocking in it. That was just enough. Just when I was thinking about it there, when you heard that Joss Whedon name getting mentioned, vile of Zack Snyder.
I mean, I have turned on Alien Resurrection many times in my life and just sat there and enjoyed it, just as a sort of after work, let's just sit down and enjoy this dumb movie, and I know I will many more times. So
do you know what it is? It's one of those that was actually the first Aliens film I'd ever seen. So at first I liked it. That was the first one, and then I seen Alien and Alien, and then Aliens, and the second is just called Aliens in it. Yeah, then I realised what an absolute bag of shunter this is. I mean, personally, I like Aliens. That's the second one's my favourite. Obviously, first is a masterpiece, but second one's the best. But I can't forgive Whedon for some of the lines that Sigourney Weaver has to deal with. Just a pure character assassination of Ripley. No, I've got a full hatred, but we're not here to do that. We're not here to rant about Whedon.
No, today we are here to discuss, I don't know, can we say this, an icon of cinema?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so. Like, I don't think he's everyone's go-to, but everyone knows him. He's a household name.
I think now his star isn't as bright, but find me a higher paid actor of the 80s and maybe early 90s, probably. Oh, well, the 90s, actually. Would you like
Yeah.
to say it?
Someone who has worked just consistently for decades. Of course, we're talking about probably one of the 3 or 4 biggest action stars in the world, Sylvester Stallone. So, you know, I think like he is pegged for kind of a dumb action kind of thing, but I'd say there's more even within the fact that we're going to talk about a lot of action films tonight. There's going to be gradients to that. So I guess I'll just kick us off with my best Sylvester Stallone film, which, yeah, I don't think anyone can deny this film is just one of the great films of the 70s and just has such a lasting influence. Of course, it's the Best Picture winner of 76, Rocky. And we all know the Rocky story. We brought it up when we talked about A Knight's Tale a few weeks ago. Like, it's something that is lampooned over and over again. And I feel like it's because this is really the definitive go-to story for a lot of people of someone pushing against all the odds to fulfill their dreams. And I feel like that's like something you discover about Rocky when you watch it the first time. A lot of the times you just think, maybe a lot of people before they watch it think, oh, boxing movie, and if I'm not into boxing, I might not like it, but it's a drama that happens to have boxing in it rather than a boxing movie. And really what's important about it is Rocky fulfilling his dreams, and the boxing is really the catalyst or the trapping at that point. Yeah. Great film. Like, Stallone probably never given a better performance. And of course, Stallone wrote this, of course, and ended up directing a lot of the sequels. Robert might disagree with me on that performance thing, but we'll see in a minute. And yeah, this is just one of those great examples of someone really. The movie is all about Stallone and his quest for fulfillment, really. And yeah, I feel like anyone can relate to this just with the amount of time that they spend just with in the first half with him courting Adrian, getting to know her, and just characters like Polly, just the best friend who, like, you just accept that guy isn't a good guy, but you just know he'll always be with you. And like Mickey, obviously, Mickey is just such a great character with, yeah, it's just a really well done drama in my perspective, and just something I go back to all the time. So yeah, so as I'm not just rambling on and on about Rocky, what do you guys think of when you think of that original?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think of all the Rockies, is it my favourite? I mean, I think that the first one is the best. I'm personally a fan of Rocky 4 when he fights Ivan Drago, but then that's because of the other spectrum. It is a bit. I think the Rocky films are pretty mad in the sense that the first one is so far fetched, like not so far fetched, sorry, so far away from Rocky 4. And Rocky 4 was all glamorous, you know, robots, big lights, whereas the first Rocky film is so dark, and it is very dark because, if I remember rightly, he's also, as well as just being like not an amateur boxer, but like a low-paid, you know, run-of-the-mill boxer, he's also collecting money for the local loan shark, isn't he? You know, so
who has to be the nicest loan shark in the history of cinema, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get that, like, he's being nice to Rocky to be in with him because he has this title shot, but at the same time, you like the guy for some reason as well, just the way he's paying for funny. Rocky's dates and all that.
It's not usually like loan sharks will like break your knees and take fingers off, but he just wants Rocky to go and rough them up. And is it not surely a scene where he just roughs the guy up and just hits him in the stomach? I mean, I'll happily take that if I would have loan shark money. I mean, yeah. 100%. I mean, the one thing I did like about Rocky is there any characters you really do hate in it? Because I thought Apollo Creed was fabulous and all.
Apollo's a great character. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, and you're meant to hate him because it's the whole, he's the rich, arrogant boxer who, yeah, I'll just come in and wipe the flare with him. Whereas, I don't know, like, it is such a good film. Rocky is probably one of Stallone's best. I mean, obviously, I'm arguing for another film being his best. Yeah, I can't. I'll be the same as you. I'd ramble all day on about Rocky. Again, just saying the same
Rocky's
things.
definitely a bit. It's one of the ones though. Even the soundtrack, it's so iconic. Everyone knows the Rocky soundtrack.
Yeah.
As soon as you hear that, you immediately think Rocky.
Yeah. Plus, isn't that statue real? Later on.
I'm pretty sure it's not at the top of the steps, but it is it sits in that area in Philadelphia, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure that's real. Plus, I remember when I was in school, my biology teacher, Mr. Cochrane, says it's such an influential film that there's probably thousands of people in Philadelphia run about doing all that, saying that they could have been someone, that it's affected people's mentality. No, it's a great film. And I think it was one of those ones, no matter what part you're in your life, your chance will always be there. I think that was the message in it. Never, stop. Plus, you know what, just to go on, as we were saying earlier, Stallone, I think, does get a bad rep in the sense that people say he's not a great actor and that he only ever just comes through with the action films. But to find out that he wrote most of Rocky, wasn't it? He wrote most of it, if not all of it, shows that he is actually a very talented person, and he is a very good actor. I mean, again, Rocky shows it. The emotion's there. You actually feel sorry for him. It's not just he's acting stupid. It really makes you think that he is stupid, and I think that's kind of went against Stallone's career because people think, oh, he is stupid, which is grossly unfair.
Yeah, I think it's, as you said at the very start, Peter, it's a drama that just happens to also have boxing in it as well.
Yeah, and if you look at specifically at the scene the night before the fight where he's sitting, like he's been walking around and he sits down on the bed with Adrian and he says he's just so defeated and like goes, there's no way I can win this fight. All I want to do is go the distance. No one's ever gone the distance with Apollo Creed. Who's not felt like that in their life? Like, doesn't matter if it's boxing, just whatever, like right before you have this chance for a dream and you just have this moment of doubt that just completely crushes you. And then, but yeah, that totally pays off in the fight. Like the fact there's only about a 10-minute fight right at the end of the film, and like that little small segment of the film just pays off everything. Like you accept that all of a sudden you're in this fight after a drama because the character work is there, and like you're invested in who Rocky is. And yeah, if I can jump back to talking about Apollo Creed for a minute, like when Anthony Joshua, I don't follow boxing, but when Anthony Joshua lost the belt, like recently, that was totally the Apollo Creed story, which just shows how well thought out and well done that story was. Like, just because, like, it's like hearing that, like as I say, I don't follow boxing, but just hearing that for osmosis, I'm like, this is the plot of Rocky. That's incredible.
Yeah, it definitely was. He everybody says, what was it, Joshua against Andy Ruiz Jr., was it? Was it motivated? He lost it. And then, I mean, I didn't watch the first fight, but after I watched the second fight, and he came back super jacked, super ripped, determined, and won his belt. He was Apollo Creed. He went from being appalling to being Apollo.
Yep. I think that's the best way as any to end off the first Rocky film, I think. So, Robert, what have you got for the best Stallone film?
Right. This is my one. I would say, in terms of the franchise, this is similar to Rocky in the sense I'm going for Rambo First Blood, which is the first Rambo, because I know that the names can confuse people. This is the first one. It is based on a novel by David Morrell, which I think does have the same name. Now everyone knows Rambo, it's the franchise. It is much like Rocky, but people I think look at Rocky and just go, oh, it's just a glamour boxing film, whereas the first one is very serious and very dark. And I think Rambo gets dragged into this, where people go, oh, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo 4, which I think was just called Rambo, and then Rambo 5, which was
Last Blood.
Yeah. And it's just, oh, these are just so over the top action kill films. It's just overkill. In the first one, I tell you right now, he does not directly kill anyone. If I remember rightly, I'll put this. I know someone does die in it, but not directly from him. A slight difference from the novel, because I think on the novel he does go through a couple of the National Guard or a couple of the police officers, but we're not talking about the novel. We're talking about the film. This is another one from me where Sylvester Stallone plays, I would argue, I think the film came out in 1982, or about the 80s, where it was very relevant. I think he's basically playing a misunderstood and troubled Vietnam veteran. I think in this character, I think was very much a lot of Vietnam vets. You know, he's just came back from the war. He's seen horrible things. He has done horrible things, and he just wants to go home. And I think he's just basically the story is he's walking through a small town. He looks. I think the word in America is vagrant, because I think they have a vagrancy law. I think the law is called that, where you can't have less than $100 in your pocket or no place of residence. So basically, he's just walking through a town, a small town in America. He's not wanting to stay. I don't know if he maybe wanted something, I can't remember, but I know he's wanting no trouble. And it's the chief of police or sheriff, I don't know how these small towns work, hassles him, pushes him and says, come in, I'll give you a lift. Basically drives him, I think tries to drive him to the edge of town, and Stallone walks back in. Again, not for any trouble. As far as he's concerned, he's served his country, and all he wants is, I think, something to eat. That's it. He wants no trouble. I think the sheriff, or we'll say sheriff, books him, arrests him. He's not a nice guy. Let's put it this way. I think it's one of those classic cowboy stories where I'm the sheriff of this town. You'll listen to me. I'm tougher than you because I have a gun and a badge.
Yeah, I feel like it's
nice.
kind of like he's the nice guy. Like, if you follow what I'm saying there, it's like he's like the guy who'll go out and smile. Oh, I'm so friendly with all my citizens, but then anything that threatens how I view my town is my enemy after that.
Yeah, and as I say, Rambo isn't doing anything wrong. So eventually Rambo's booked or arrested. He's treated harshly. Bearing in mind, I think this film deals very well with PTSD because what they're doing to him, so basically there's scenes in it where they strip him out naked. That was very well known. It's a humiliation tactic. They spray him down with a hose, right in front of him. That's like, I've never had it done to me, but it's apparently excruciating pain. It's almost like he's being tortured again in Vietnam, because I think you learned that he had been tortured. They then pull out Rambo's knife. Rambo has basically, everyone knows a Rambo knife. Everyone knows the Rambo knives are like these massive knives. They find out then that he has scars on his back. And this is the beginning now. They think, I can't remember if is he going to slice him or is he smacking him? But whatever it is, he sees the knife and that's gone. John Rambo's went back into becoming, the words were, the most deadliest human being in Vietnam, as the way it was described. He is the ultimate killing machine, and he's went back into complete survival mode. I'm trapped behind enemy lines. He freaks out, battles a couple of the police officers, and escapes. Now, it's a big manhunt to chase him, preying on the fact that this guy built to survive. He runs away into the woods. This is his domain now, where you want. This is the way he's built. And this is where I think the first and only kill kind of comes from. In the fact that he's been shot at, he's trying to escape. We'll run past it, but he's escaping, and I think he's climbing up a cliff, and the helicopter and the gunner is trying to shoot him, sniper him, and he flings a stone to wave him off to try and get away, and it hits the pilot, and the pilot shakes, and the guy dies. Rambo hasn't killed him, man. The big difference, I think, from this film to the other Rambo films is the other Rambo films are, if this was like another Rambo film, Rambo would have killed the whole town with a complete machine gun battery. If they went out and went off his nut, they bring in the National Guard, which only elevates the situation because now he's hunted. They try and blow him up. I think it's also got one of the most memorable lines. I'm sure when they fire, the National Guard fires like a rocket launcher down a mine. It's like, please someone give that man a cigar. I'm sure that's in it. I mean, basically, they end up having to bring in his commanding officer to try and calm him down. And for me, this is the best part in the film. And I'm not going to go with that joke, oh, it's the best part because it's the end. I think this is the moment where Stallone shows that he is a great actor. And I think the film is. I think the problem with a lot of war films in America is they're always said they glorify war. I don't think you can watch this and turn and say this glorified the Vietnam War in a sense. It showed you how badly the veterans were treated. He has a freak out. He tells his commander officer, everyone's dead. They all died. It's just me left. What's my thanks? To be arrested and basically tortured again for just trying to pass through a town that I've allegedly fought for. I mean, again, like Peter, I could ramble on about this Rambo film as much as he was with Rocky. Only the fact that it's such a difference from the franchise. For me, it's fantastic. It's just pure, serious Stallone. It's none of that stupid. I mean, there is a bit of action, but it's not, I'm picking up a massive minigun basically and rattling at a full village. I think it's quite realistic and quite a good kind of story to show, like, what happened to Vietnam veterans in America at the time. No one cared for them because a lot of them were seen as war criminals, baby killers, people were calling them because they didn't agree with the Vietnam War. I don't particularly think that's very fair on them. They didn't. They just get sent over there. They didn't pick a war. I don't know if you've seen it, and two of you, and you've got something to add.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've only seen it once, actually. I need to watch it again. But the thing that really comes back to me, which you've mentioned, is Stallone's acting in this film. Like, right from the start when, you see him trying to visit his friends, and then, of course, gradually finding out, his friends died, and that means that Rambo's the last one from that unit left alive. The range Stallone goes through in that scene, just from this natural, jolly, pretty performance to, just totally broken. You'd never see that again in any Stallone film, I'd say. Yeah. I need to watch this again, as I say. I remember quite liking it, but yeah.
No, definitely. I think it's one I need to watch again myself. I've not watched it in a good couple of years, so it's a bit foggy myself. I always remember enjoying it, especially what you said as well, Robert, about it highlights the PTSD as well. I think that's how I actually became aware of what PTSD was, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's such a far cry. I'm not going to talk about the other Rambo films because I know that it may be coming up later. No spoilers. But it is much for me like the Rocky films. I think this is, I would say, hand on heart, this is Stallone's best work. We all have our own opinions. But for me, I always similar to Rocky in the sense of these two are probably the biggest franchises. They're the original franchises. I think they are massive, but the franchises are known for being over the top, either big sports events or just mad action films, whereas the first ones are the most grounded, real, dark, gritty performances that I think we'll overlook for the more glamorous, easygoing films. We want the action, but we don't want to deal with the mental health that Rambo has to suffer. So no, we don't want that. Whereas this, just get it in there. Shows you. It's great. So I've rambled enough.
So Ryan, what's your choice for the best Stallone film?
Yeah, so I've went for an unusual choice for best Stallone film. So originally I wanted to pick something else, but I was given this list at late minute, so I had to pick something completely new. So I've actually went for Creed 2. I'm going to try and defend Creed 2 in this one as one of the best movies he's done. Now, the reason I'm actually choosing this as best movie for him is because Stallone has went through a period of time where he's not been that relevant and no one's paid that much attention to anything he's done. His career took a bit of a blip. But as soon as Creed came back, Creed came, and the excitement and the buzz that was coming around for actually seeing Rocky back on the screens. And to be fair to Sylvester Stallone as well, he does give such a powerful performance in these films. He carries on from his previous Rockies. He's always been strong in these character roles. I know, previously he was given a bad reception for being portrayed stupid because of Rocky, but even say Creed 2, for example, he then portrays himself more seriously because it's the story of Creed versus Drago's son. How he's went through that before with their fathers. He doesn't want to see it again. He doesn't want to be there for it. And then eventually he has to do it. And it's just even the whole fight scene coming up with it all at the end of Creed 2. They're having the fight. And Rocky looks at him for a moment, so Sylvester Stallone looks at him, he's like that, thinking about throwing the towel, he's like, no, I can't do it. and then for like Dragov Sava to be the one to throw in the pill at the end. It's just something. I think that was a really powerful moment for me, and just the whole thing as well. That was a film where, like, see, working in the cinema, people were actually going into the cinemas like overly hyped for this film. While we had other films out, people weren't that hyped for like, the sort of films we had at that period of time. People were actually getting in fights in the audience because they were getting out of the seats and fighting each other, which wasn't a good time for me, to be honest. But it did actually captivate people and get people out of their seats, and even as well, for the fact that it's one of the only films I believe carries on a franchise and goes into another franchise really well. Like, we still praise Stallone in that, and even the fact now they're in the process of making a Creed 3, where Michael B. Jordan's actually going to make his directorial debut and direct Creed 3. That film for me is one of Stallone's last serious bits of work, where he's now, it feels like, passing on the torch and passing on the franchise, where I believe it can still go strong.
Yeah, for me, Creed 2 is an interesting one because it's such a strange idea to take the, I don't know, we all love Rocky 4, but it is the cheesiest Rocky film, let's admit it. And to take the cheesiest Rocky film and try to make this dramatic sequel to it, where you're gonna like really drill into the Apollo versus Drago fight from Rocky 4 and try and bring that up as this dark chapter in both Rocky and Adonis Creed's history. It's a really interesting gamble, and I think I quite liked it. Like, yeah, as you say, Stallone's still good in it. Michael B. Jordan's like, yeah, he's just having a great moment.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, he's just having a great moment right now in cinema, and I feel like another one of the great successes is the scene where Creed is going to propose to his girlfriend, and you get Rocky telling him the story of how he proposed to Adrian. Like, that could go so wrong. Like, this whole idea of like just the extreme detail that Rocky's going into of like, oh yeah, we were at this zoo and there was a tiger there, and I said this to the tiger, and like, but it works, you know, like it comes across kind of endearing rather than stupid for me. So, and yeah, it was a film that, like, it's not one of my favorite films in the franchise, but like it fulfilled that Rocky fix for me that I needed for a few years. So yeah, it's pretty good.
For me, I'm saying it's one of the best of recent times, especially just because it's brought Sylvester Stallone back into relevance for that period of time as well, where you can actually see he can still act, he can still draw money. Because with a budget of, like, Creed 2, I think was a budget of 50 million, it brought back 210. And then even before that as well, where I'm trying to remember the actual budget for that, but that brought on quite a good bit of money as well. And that credit goes to Michael B. Jordan as well, because it was a solid cast that helped through that performance, because Stallone went for a period of time where he was doing, like, say, films, and I'll touch on these later, where they weren't even drawn back like a 17 to 16 for the money. So for this, I think this was one of his best portrayals, showing he is a serious actor still, and it did show, it highlighted and showcased him for all the right reasons.
Yeah, it just makes you wish that some of that positive energy had gone into the most recent Rambo film, which yeah.
I mean, I'm quite glad they didn't try and spin off Rambo and find somebody to pass that torch, wouldn't they? I'm always quite indifferent with the Creed series. I don't know if it's because there's no originality in it. I mean, they're good. I must be honest. No, I don't. I wanted to say I enjoy them. I don't. I never go the first one. I didn't like that. I felt if I have to pick one of them, I'll say Creed 2 is the better film. Definitely. So I got Creed, even though the factor that I'm sure Stallone, in my eyes, was probably better than the first Creed. Because I think the first Creed was dealing more on him being alone, being Sylvester Stallone. No proud of that in the slightest.
Yeah,
I feel like that one dealt with more being alone, because I think by that point there was no one left. I don't know. Paulie was gone. Obviously his wife had died in Rocky Balboa.
That's one of the main reasons a lot of Rocky fans dislike Creed, for the fact Paulie wasn't returned for the Creed one.
Oh, that doesn't bother me. Paulie was an arsehole. No, I mean, I think Stallone wise for me with the first one, because in the first one he was dealing with cancer and stuff like that, although I feel like they just kind of brushed that. I feel like they didn't make that a big thing, which I don't know whether it takes credit or no. I think they did try and keep it about Creed. The second one, yes, it is a lot more dramatic, and it's not as Rocky 4, where Rocky 4 was all talking robots and fast cars. I feel that Rocky Creed 2 is more a combination of Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. You know, he gets beat up bad, and then it's like coming back, and he can't fight. He doesn't want to get back into it. But through the love of his wife and child, he does. Yeah.
No running on the beach in Creed 2 though, so
that's probably
a
for
weird
the best.
image. It's a weird
That's
image.
probably for the best. I mean, they did have a wee jog through the desert, did they know?
Yeah, they did.
They did have that
of
job
course.
through the desert, right?
Yeah, that never made sense to me either. Why he went to the desert? Was it just like, oh, you're tough, but here's all these tough guys, and it's just we're tough because we fight in the desert. I don't know. I'm trying not to absolutely assault your Creed 2 choice here, but I feel like I'm trying my best not to, even though I feel like I kind of am. No, you know what? I won't
You've actually
go.
been a lot more like reserved than I thought you were going to be.
Yeah, I just thought I said, goes a bag of. Creed 2 is a good film. I'll say that. If I had to pick two of them, I'd say Creed. Creed 2 is better than Rocky Balboa. Say that.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan was good. I mean, I don't really think I've seen a lot of Michael B. Jordan films, but that one was a good film.
One I definitely recommend is We Are Your Friends. You can just see a completely contrasting Michael B. Jordan in that. He's definitely got some acting chops about him.
Oh, definitely. I think he's got an action film coming out, one of the Tom Clancy ones.
Yeah.
Although I've seen
Without Remorse, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen early reviews of that, but people hit me off because it's nothing like the book, and you're always going to get that. Tom Clancy and Andy McNabb stuff, you're always going to get, they're nothing like the book.
Well, that's a problem with the world at large, that the world needs to realise a film is a film and a book is a book, and one can't be the other. You know, it's a really sad state of the world. I could go into that, honestly.
Oh, we still could, but we shan't. We shall keep it.
Let's not do it. I was going to run.
No, Creed 2, I'll go with it. I mean, definitely, I will agree, in terms of relevance and serious work, that probably was maybe his last serious work that wasn't on sci-fi.
Well, I think that's the perfect transition into talking about the worst of Stallone's career, which, he got into a rut at a certain point. Like, he can, as we've already alluded to, he can sink into a certain type of very unrewarding action film. So, Robert, what have you got for us first?
I'm going for the film that you may say the title of this film sadly sums up Stallone's career, is what people would say. The film I'm going for is Over the Top. I don't know where to start with this. Right, let's start money-wise. So the budget was $25 million. At box office, it's $16 million. So, yeah, it didn't make its budget back. It was released in 1987, so I'm going to go for that. It's a lot of money to be losing back then. So basically, here is a quick run-through of this terrible, makes no sense plot. Sylvester Stallone plays Lincoln Hawk, who is a truck driver who arm wrestles on the side to make a little bit of money. America, that is what we're all saying here. Rock, flag and eagle. America, I'm a straight truck driver, and there's nothing I love more than arm wrestling other men for an extra $20. Now, okay, need to get in a bit of emotional side. I think it's his estranged wife either has a very serious heart disease or has just passed away from a heart disease. And he's been asked to go and pick up his young son that he has never seen, I think, till he was born. I think when he was born was the last time he's seen him. It's basically his young son has come out of military school, and this is the dying wish, or the wish of the mother who has just died, which probably is a dying wish, that they two get to know each other for a period of time. He's got a grandfather, not Sylvester Stallone, the young boy, who is, how do I put this? Basically, Stallone is the rough and ready truck driver. I've got nothing to my name apart from a truck. whereas she obviously came from the money family, so it's the classic over the top kind of grandfather's rich, powerful man, wants nothing to do with this working class dreg. Get away from my grandson, you smelly man. He's classic. You hate him for the start, which fair enough. I'll go with that. They pick out quite simply, you hate him because he isn't going to let this young boy see his father. The young boy doesn't actually like to see his dad because, as far as he was concerned, he was never a visit for him. So it's that whole storyline going on. You know, the classic, you were never there for me, blah, 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 I don't care. My grandfather's right, you're a waste of time. I think that it's going from across America. My geography in America isn't very there. I think it's something like Colorado to California. I don't know the distance. I don't know if that's proper across America or if that's middle or whatever. Just check my notes here again. Basically, yeah, do you know what? My notes, I was trying to figure this out, but now I'll see it again. There is a weird scene where he's kidnapped the son, right? Then you learn the son was kidnapped by his grandfather. Bearing in mind, this is an action film. This film's based on arm wrestling, which, by the way, arm wrestling comes into this a lot more than you think. This is Stallone's plan. He wants to, despite the fact that his son's in military school, he says his son's too clean, too soft. Military school is very known for being disciplined and breaking people and making them into men, as they say, that whole thing. But Stallone says, no, you're too soft, you're too womanly. Again, we're going with the 80s. I'm not saying that men have to be tough. I'm just going from, this is what this film is like. And it's basically, so Stallone believes that I'll get the money to show you that I can look after my son by winning an arm wrestling competition, which I think at the time it's like $150,000 and this big new truck. Because, of course, all truckers want is new trucks. Because, of course, getting a new truck shows this grandfather who has a big stable house that I can look after my grandson. I can look after my son, sorry. And that's the whole film. The whole film is basically just him going through arm wrestling competitions. It's not a boxing film. It's not an underground fighting film. It's arm wrestling. Simple, straight up arm wrestling. All apart from we have a big moment to show that he's going to do, how to make it more exciting. So how do we make something like this more exciting? I'll tell you, Stallone will sell everything he's got. He'll sell his crappy rundown truck and he'll put it all on him to win because he is a 20-1 long shot. So all his money is back Stallone to show that if I win, which I know I will because I'm the main character, I will get my son back. That's how they create tension. Gets to the final, wins it, blah, blah, blah. Takes on the emotional thing of always being a loser, but he proves that his life is finally back on track because he's won the truck, won the money, won his love of his son for some weird reason. Can't remember if he wins the respect of his, the grandfather. Couldn't care less. I get so lost in the film. In fact, you know what? I think he does kind of win the respect of his grandfather. If I remember right, he does. Do you know what? He does. I remember this. He wins the respect of his grandfather because he goes, I was wrong to misjudge you. I thought you were a loser. But showing me that you've irresponsibly sold everything you own just to gamble on yourself shows me that you are a responsible man who can look after your son, even though you've only dealt with him for a week. It's just, for me, this summed everything up. Of all the bad films of Stallone's, they were over the top, had no storyline on them. But I'll always give it to Stallone. They had something, they had action, which that for me blocks it out. This film was just really stupid. Rubbishly stupid. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of watching Over the Top.
I haven't seen it, but part of like the descriptions make me wonder. This is the same year. This is the same year as Predator. So was arm wrestling just in vogue at the time? Where you remember that scene in Predator where Arnold and Carl Weathers meet each other?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? That meeting, that 5 second, it was probably even 5 second arm wrestle clip there was better than. How can you make arm wrestling exciting? Seriously, honestly, tell me this. It's classic 80s. Stallone doesn't just turn up like, here am I. Stallone turns up, ripped, muscles out, sweaty. Why is he sweaty? I'll never know. Stallone is like 24/7 sweaty through this whole film. And I don't know if that's the 80s. Like, I'm starting to think that was the 80s. Like, he's got muscles. He's let the action star, let's baby oil him up. And the guy he fights, I said, sorry, the guy he arm wrestles is his big rival. It's just typical bleak 80s villain. Big, massive, kind of heavy set baldy guy who's, oh, by the way, also oiled up. And arm wrestles him. I mean, honestly, if you at home have seen this film, please comment if you disagree with me or if you have anything else to add to this. But if you try and turn and tell me that you think this is Stallone's best work or in his top 15, I will attack you. Top 15 is the limit. I will attack you if you put this in his top 15. I will arm wrestle you. I will come round to your place with my arms baby oiled up and I will wrestle you. Arm wrestle you to this. I can't, there's nothing redeeming about it. Nothing. It's just cliche after cliche. Yeah. It's just, I don't know if it's the time of the era. Again, I'm not born in the 80s. I don't know if it was like, let's just make him this hard-working, down on his luck truck driver, and people instantly like him because he's going up against this rich snob. But then let's throw in the estranged son that he had to leave to work, but it's all right because he'll love him because he'll win an arm wrestling. Honestly, rubbish. I don't know where he gets the respect from at the end because I couldn't respect him. He sold everything and irresponsibly gambled everything he owned. You know, especially now in a period where we're talking about gambling, isn't it? You know, everybody gambles. I've not got a problem with gambling. Just don't irresponsibly gamble. Don't bet everything you own, no matter how sure you are. He does. I get it. Like, he's got nothing to lose, but I just don't think that puts you in a respectful manner. I'm going to stop now because I'm going to sit for the next hour ranting.
Cool. Yep, you brought the passion. I respect it. And
Yes.
I will not watch this film now that you've brought the passion.
Don't.
I feel like I need to watch all these arm wrestling scenes, man.
Do you know what? I say
feel like
watch
you could
it,
bring
right?
it back into fashion.
I 100% say watch it, and only for you to find out if you can tell me where you think they get a film. Like who came up with the idea for a film. I'm quite glad that it bombed as well, because sometimes with Stallone's films, and I'll put my hand up, is that maybe back in the day they were great, and now you watch them now and you go, But I'm glad people in the 80s knew this was a bag of rubbish. And I'll continue my rant.
To make him another relevant sports star after he's had boxing, you think it's like, what other sport can we have? Well, we can't. He's not really good at football. He's good with his hands. Let's make him arm wrestle.
Don't make me start.
Arm wrestling.
You say football. Don't make me talk about road to victory, path to victory. You know, the football one where he's in with Pelé and Sir Bobby Moore.
Aye.
I mean, I forgot about that until you reminded me. That may have actually been up there, but no. I'm relinquishing. I'm going silent because I'll sit and argue all day. I'm moving on.
So, Ryan, why don't you bring us on to a new chapter in terrible Stallone films?
Okay, so a very, very terrible Stallone film is Avenging Angelino. Now, I'm assuming neither of you have seen it. It had a box office budget of 17 million and it brought back 800,000. So, Avenging Angelino, it's one of the ones. So it basically starts off. He's going down the whole Italian American actor sort of route. Sorry, not an actor, but basically he's the bodyguard for this old mobster, and basically the mobster is then killed off. The mobster then dies, and then the whole plot is then set up as he has to then look after. He has to then become the bodyguard for the mobster's daughter, but he's never met the daughter. So she's never met her father. So it's basically one of the ones, I'm trying to think how to actually describe this. So Sylvester Stallone turns up after being shot. He's been shot. He turns up to her house with a gun wound and he's like that, do you have a DVD player? Then she has to go like that. That one's busted. I shot that one earlier on. But here, there's one in the other room. So then he gives her the DVD. She's watching it, having a wee drink with him, just letting this random man that's been shot, being like that. The random guy down the street, he's been shot. And she watches the film. Oh, also, he turns out to be your father. So that's how the whole film basically kicks off. That's bringing you into the film. And then with pretty much no explanation. She just found out the night before that she's the daughter of this old mobster that's just been killed off. Like, he's still trying to convince us all that, you need to listen to me, you are this person. And then within about 12 hours, she's like, I need to get out here. And it's one of the ones, the two actors, I feel like Stallone gives he's okay at parts, but I feel like the two actors, when they're rehearsing this, they must have found themselves funny because there's about 9 jokes like per line, and about one of them must land. Only about one of these lines land every time. Like even she'll be going out there like that. Oh, I need to get therapy. He's like, therapy? Yes, shopping therapy. And then she runs out to the shops, goes to buy shoes. She gives the credit card over. She picks everything in the shop because she's got all this money. And literally, she's already trying to be assassinated. There's no even any explanation as to why, like how the other mob families have found out that she's this mobster's daughter. But she's still not even convinced as well. So Sylvester Stallone then ushering her around. He's now moving in with her. Oh, it gets worse and worse. She's going up to her family. Her family saying, "Oh no, you weren't adopted." Then about 3 lines later, "Oh yeah, it turns out I'm adopted. They adopted me." She takes him to the funeral. He takes her to her father's funeral, and he's then asking as well, "Why is everyone looking at me so funny?" And all that. Oh, they all think you were your father's whore, so that's why they're all looking at you really funny. Also, every night, so every other apparently mobster at this funeral thinks she was Angelino's whore. He was sleeping with her every night, and every night she has a new assassin trying to kill her off. There's a new assassin trying to kill her each night, and you just see like Sylvester Stallone jumping out, like people, like jumping out the bushes, grabbing them. And there's one scene as well where he attacks someone, he knocks them unconscious, and then she comes over to have a little talk to him. And just for the next 5 minutes, she's got an unconscious man under his bed. He keeps farting, and Sylvester Stallone's having to describe it as, "Oh, I know what you're thinking. It's squirrels. Squirrels are doing it because they're so trapped with gas." Oh, it gets worse and worse. But yeah, story goes on. She's then trying to be assassinated again. And yes, so she's like that. "Oh, I feel like I'll need to kill this person that's trying to kill me off because that's what my family would do." So apparently this man's been trying to kill her for ages, and she's going to confront him and whack him. She uses the word whack a lot. She turns up to the bar where this mobster is, and he just assumes that she's been sleeping with her father the whole time. He still doesn't know the two of them are related. So it makes no sense how the fact this man would be setting out a kill for her every single night to no success, because Sylvester Stallone kills everyone by just jumping out the bushes on everyone or like climbing up the guardrails, grabbing everyone. She goes there with a plan to kill off like this head mobster, and within about 5 minutes, the mobster's grabbed her. He's forcing her to marry her, and in the end, she actually does kill him off by marrying him to death. That's the big comic line. She married him to death. The mobster that was set trying to kill her, who didn't even know who she is. There's so many plot holes. But yeah, she marries him. She takes her top off, takes her bra off, and yeah, he has a heart attack and dies. She married him to death. Oh, it just gets worse and worse as the actual film goes on. Like, even at one point as well, they go to see a show. And she's just in the audience, and Sylvester Stallone's going to get her 20 roses because he's in love with her. He's been watching her from afar from when she was a child. He's always loved her. He knows everything about her. Any boyfriend she's ever had, she's just destroyed. He's got rid of. But it's all right because she's doing it to protect her. And then she falls in love with the man that's singing at the opera. I think it's the opera. He's just doing a show. She falls in love with him because she threw one white rose. And then, evidently, it then turns out, oh, he's a mobster's son, and he's actually planning to kill her. So they have to travel back to Sicily. She travels back with this like opera singer or like book writer, whatever he is. Travels back to Sicily with him, and then he reveals who he is. Out of nowhere, here comes Sylvester Stallone to save the day. So she's just decided to elope with this random man, and then Sylvester Stallone saves the day, kills him off, and she's like, "Why is it taking you so long to admit your feelings for me?" So that's basically the story. That's everything you need with the story. And then you see them about a few weeks later. They're living in you're right there, Robert.
I'm so lost. Why do I get the feeling the tagline of this is like a romantic action thriller comedy? Like, this sounds honestly like the worst film, not only of Stallone's, but of all time.
Yeah, you're making this sound like The Room, like the way where like plot lines come and go. Like, I have cancer. Oh, it's never referenced again. Oh, what kind of money, Danny?
But at least The Room is entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's one of the ones, even just like when he's attacked someone and he's got them over their shoulder, you can tell Stallone's career is dead when the person on the shoulder farts. And then they fart again. This unconscious man on Stallone's shoulder farts. And then he's staying in the wee guest house of this woman, like he's bodyguarding, like the actual main actress. She wants to come in to like say all of her feelings. He hides the body under the bed, keeps checking over, oh, is he dead? Is she unconscious? He tries to poke it with like a fishing rod to make sure it doesn't move, hide the hand while she's talking about her life. And the body's still farting. The body's still farting this whole time. Is it? It's squirrels because they've got so much trapped gas. And she's just sitting there like that. Oh, that's such a shame.
Wow.
But I feel like they've said these lines in rehearsals, like, oh, that's a squirrel. And the two of them have found it funny. And it just doesn't correlate to the actual screen.
I have one question. Is anything about this film redeeming? Because it sounds like, while you were explaining it, I just had a quick check on, like, to see what I could see. And yeah, I can't find anything to say it's good. I mean, one literal response here was, Sly, despite his seemingly unquenchable desire to prove me otherwise, deserves better than this. I mean, why am I getting the feeling this was dreadful, that no one was good in it?
Oh, it was really, really bad.
The plot sounds madness as well. The plot just sounds mad. I mean, wow.
I can't do it justice.
No, I mean, as you're saying it, I'm reading it as well, and it just seems to jump from bit to bit. It's like, oh, you're wow. I think they genuinely have tried to put this up as a comedy. It's like it started off as like an action drama. They went, oh no, it's comedy.
I don't think they could make up their minds. It's literally just from the beginning though, where like he's just been shot. He's going to her house. He's then explaining, showing a DVD who her father is, and then within 12 hours later, she's going on a shopping trip and she's tried to be assassinated. Wow. And then the person she believes trying to assassinate them and whatnot as well. It just, there's so many jumps. There's so many plot holes throughout it. It's just that I married him to death line. I was like, no, there's no saving this film. No, the farting killed it, and that I married him to death. There's no saving it either. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
If I can kick this movie while it's down, like, I haven't seen it, but like, I've just been doing research like Robert, and I see that your movie killed Anthony Quinn, the actor who played Angelino. Yeah. Like, this is an actor who lasted from the golden age right up to the early 2000s. Like, cool actor, like, legend. And I just seen that he died right after filming this movie, right before it came out. And yeah, your movie's evil, Ryan.
So not only did it attempt to assassinate people in the film, it actually did assassinate an actor. Wow.
It did indeed. I forgot to mention that completely. That's the ending image. Is just
So this film basically went one better than A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It didn't just retire a big actor; it actually killed an actor. My goodness, what a shockingly bad film.
I mean, I've still to go, but Ryan, I think you've won this round.
Oh, definitely.
There was no arm wrestling in me.
But yeah, I think the arm wrestling may have saved it, but
you watch it for the first like 10-20 minutes and you think to yourself, it's not the worst thing possible. Like, there is like the odd line or two that lands, but there's too many lines like just crammed down your throat. It just doesn't take. Nothing really takes.
Yep, I think we found it. The worst film we've ever reviewed, and Robert and I haven't even seen it yet. So yet.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I need to witness this absolute garbage.
Well, I feel like we're bound to come back to this at some point anyway, but I'll just move on to mine just now since we're conscious of time. My pick is a sequel to a film that Robert's already covered as his best. My pick for worst is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Now, I'll be completely honest. I haven't seen Rambo 3 or 4, but to me, the reason, like, where I feel like even if I'd seen these, I can safely say that Rambo 2 would still be my least favorite is because, look at where you came from First Blood to what First Blood Part 2 did to the franchise. Like, all that morality and character development in the first film is gone, and you're just in the dumbest, least caring action film you've ever seen. Like, it's one of those films where it's just terrible for an hour, and then eventually you just sink into a state where you're just laughing at how bad everything is. There's literally a moment in this film where Rambo is having this horribly badly written and acted moment with the female lead of the film where they're reaffirming their, like, oh, we can have hope and all that. Then this lady immediately stands up and is gunned down to death in dramatic fashion. And I am laughing. Like, it is a terrible film. Like, it's the film like we think of when we think of, oh, a bad 80s action film. So many explosions, like, but even when I'm saying that, so many explosions, so much gunfire, it's a really boring film to me as well. Like, Rambo is no longer an interesting character. Troutman is no longer an interesting character. You know who the villain is right from the start. This guy who's sending Rambo back to pick up the prisoners of war. And, like, you could tell an interesting story of Rambo having gone through all the PTSD in the first film, having to go back and rescue POWs. But this film is miserable. And I want to, like, add something here. We all know whose name is on the screenplay for this, right? Anyone want to volunteer? James Cameron wrote this film. This film was James Cameron gigging before he got the money to make Terminator. And this is I am going to choose to believe that Stallone rewrote everything that Cameron wrote, because I can't believe that. Horrible film.
I mean, I do get the belief why it would be the worst, as again what it's came from. I mean, I haven't seen Last Blood, so I don't know, but I will go with you on that. The romance with she was Vietnamese, wasn't she?
I think she was, yeah.
Yeah, that never made sense. It was just, oh, John, will you take me back? Yes, I will. And then it was just, oh, she's dead. All right, cool. And then it was like, yeah, you know from the start that the villain is not the Vietnamese people that have got the Viet Cong. It's got the POWs hostage or captured. It's not those pesky Russians. No, it is the evil CIA man who leaves Rambo behind and gets his comeuppance when Rambo appears, walks into an army base with a machine gun and opens fire, and no one stops him because he's John Rambo. Oh, God, do you know what? I didn't mind that film, but now you're going about it, it annoys the absolute life out of me in certain scenes. It seems to just wash over. It seems to have, like, bits of Rambo, like, in the sense that he has a bit of PTSD. It's like, oh, this Rambo being tortured again. It's just like, no, Rambo's not pissed off at that again. He's pissed off at the man that left him behind. Because they're, just no. Yeah, was it CIA mercenaries? They really went out to make them very bad villains. Christ, you know, it's a bad day when, like, an 80s film, the Russians aren't the real villains, it's the CIA. You know, that's a weird film. Those pesky Russians. One I will say big ups to it, was that not the film where Stallone was proper jacked, like he was like 1% body fat, and he actually got electrocuted on the bed? I mean,
oh yeah.
Big up. Yeah, that's true. Check that. That is 100%. He gets strapped to this metal. Well, it was like the frame of a bed with the springs. They actually electrocuted him. He chose to take that. So he basically, I don't know if it's just Stallone getting right into the method, but he had 1% body fat. I mean, fair play. Wasn't needed for the plot. He didn't need to do it. I don't know why he done it. I don't know why he done this. It's just an interesting thing of the film. I don't feel like the film should never have had to be in this, but not when it came from Rambo 1. Like, again, from Rambo 1 to the action, you know, where Rambo could sit fire an AK-47, which I think holds about a couple, I don't know, 20 to 30 rounds in a normal magazine, but he's sitting there for ages giving it that, oh God, Peter, you've ruined that film for me.
It's the kind of sequel you make when you can't get anyone back. You know what I mean? It's but like this is like this is like, this is 3 years later, and they got Stallone back and everything. Like, it should have been a decent
Serious.
sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I would have accepted serious with action, but again, playing on this, Rambo isn't just going back to kill people for no reason, but it's just there was no. I mean, do you think he ever felt sad about that woman dying?
If he did, it wasn't on Stallone's face.
Nah, that was the beginning of Stallone becoming just a generic action star, and I feel like that always annoys me. I feel like Stallone had it in him to be regarded as a proper actor. I feel like he could have done it, but so many films took him into generic action. Which, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy a generic action film, but not when it comes from what it was.
I think his biggest downfall is he was typecast. He was always typecast as that buff sort of guy. There was nowhere for him else to go.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like even with Avenging Angelino, it seems like there was a wee bit of comedy and a wee bit of romance involved in there as well, but at the same time, it is just Sylvester Stallone, I'm the bodyguard. Like, he always has to have that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, that seems like that may have been, we may have found the 3 worst films there, because, yeah, usually we have some kind of disagreements, I'd say, but yeah, we all seem to agree those are 3 bad films. So let's liven things up and go on to our wild cards, our underrated Stallone films. So Ryan, why don't you kick us off here?
Yeah, so I'm going to kick off with, I'm going to keep mine quite brief as well. So my underrated one is The Expendables. Now, money-wise as well, budget was 80 million. It returned around about 270 million. Everyone in the franchise returns a good profit as well. And I feel for what it is, it knows exactly what it is. It's an over-the-top action comedy where you've got pretty much every acting, like, sort of big action star from under the sun thrown all together. It's when people think about all, like, Sylvester Stallone films, immediately you think Rocky, you think Rambo. But for me as well, The Expendables has to be there. Even just for the fact you've got Stone Cold Steve Austin as a villain for the majority of it as well. That was enough for me. But no, you've got, say, it doesn't matter how big a part there is. Arnold Schwarzenegger makes a wee cameo in there as well. You've got like Bruce Willis making the odd wee appearances in here. Even Dolph Lundgren as well. Like, so it's throwbacks to like some of his previous like films as well. They're coming back, and yeah, it's just The Expendables. It is what it is. It's the shoot them up sort of thing. You'll have like Sylvester Stallone and Jason Statham, which was actually, I forgot completely all about Jason Statham, but he's such an important character in the franchise as well. So they'll be having wee jokes being like that. Oh, my bullet travels faster than your knife. So they'll be doing these wee things going on, but it's over the top. You know exactly what you're getting with it. But I think it's a slept on one. I think it's a very, very slept on one. I think it's all like the big names from that era, all going back into one film together. And it also brings other stars in as well. Like, say, Terry Crews, for example, as well. You don't hold him to the highest esteem as action star, but they're in there as well. Actors like that, they're in for this big film with all the names of the past. Yeah, no, I'll definitely keep that one. It's sweet, it's light-hearted, you know what you're getting. Yeah, definitely recommend The Expendables if you're just looking for a wee shoot them up for about 2 hours and seeing all your old favourites.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those franchises that, yeah, you're right, people do sleep on it. People say, oh, it doesn't live up to expectations, it should be so much better. But you have to think, they're not trying to make the A-level action films from back in the day. Like, you're not going to get a Terminator 2 out of this franchise. This is the franchise where you're in the second one, you're going to have Arnold saying the classic, I'll be back, but Willis stopping him and saying, no, you're always coming back. This time, I'll be back. And then Arnold going back to him saying, oh yeah, well, yippee-ki-yay. Like, that's the level this franchise is on, and it's completely comfortable being there. And yeah, they're enjoyable films. Like, I'll turn them on, you know?
Yeah. What I like about them is exactly what we're saying. It's they're old, like they are old for action stars, the franchise. We all know that. They know that, and I think that's where the joke comes from. You know, Wesley Snipes makes an appearance in the third one. Where have you been? Oh, been in prison. Tax evasion. Ha! Like, you know, the second you go all those stupid jokes you hear about Chuck Norris. He literally appears with like cowboy music. They're
Yeah,
great.
he appears to tell a Chuck Norris joke, which is, that's like,
Yeah, I thought I heard you get bit via Viper. I did, and after 3 agonising days, the Viper had died. Like, they don't take themselves seriously, and that's why I think they're so great. I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme gets to be the villain in the second scene, and he is every bit of a Jean-Claude Van Damme character you'll get. He's just madness. It's, do you know what? They are great. I enjoy the Expendables films for the fact that they don't try to be a serious action film. They don't try and be realistic. They tell you what it is. It is a joke, but just enjoy it, and that's it. Take it for what it is. They are good films. They are good.
If you go into it with an open mind, it's just the
Yes.
just you wink to the camera. This is what this is, and it's enjoyable. You just pass the time.
Aye. Oh, I
just love the first one though for Stone Cold Steve Austin. I grew up watching WWE, so just having him in a big film, like, yeah, that also does it for me.
Plus, I think they were the last proper films for Jet Li, because I'm sure round about that period, Jet Li started to suffer from, I can't now remember what he's got, but I know he's got a very, I don't know if it's a muscular illness, from the years of stunt work that he's done. He has had to slowly pull it, and if you do look at his IMDb, he's very much, it seemed to have that period is when it was like too much on his joints and stuff. So I think he's more in a lot of Eastern kind of work, but again, not doing the heavy stunts that you would see him do. So that was maybe the last of them, which is always nice. Jet Li's amazing.
Yeah, and I'd also hold up this franchise as like they don't do a ton with the characters, but they always make sure to give everyone a scene, like if you look at Mickey Rourke in the first movie, like he's not really that featured, but like you get that scene where like you get into his past and how damaged he is really, and like that's enough in this kind of film for me.
What an ensemble though. I just feel like with this you don't have, when you see an action film come into the cinema, I don't feel like anyone gets that excited these days. Usually it's like, oh, there's Liam Neeson doing another one. But with these it's like, oh, we know exactly what it is. Everyone's here.
Yeah. Mel Gibson was the villain in the third one. Come on, what else could you want? They have had pretty good villains. Maybe the first one, the villain was just the generic kind of CIA guy. But it's still good. Eric Roberts, was it? It was Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
He's still done a decent job. Don't get me wrong. They all went for the classic, like, mercenary team takes over a country, or terrorist group played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, or international arms dealer played by Mel Gibson. Aye, the third one had some big battles, and you don't care less. The UN would be like, it's happening here, there's tanks, there's missiles, there's cruise missiles. Who cares? Screw the UN. Stallone's got a minigun.
Yeah.
They are great.
Turn it on a Friday night. Turn it on a Friday night and enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
So yeah, if I can move on to my wildcard pick, we couldn't get through the evening without talking about one of Stallone's comedies, which doesn't always go well, but for me, this is the cream of the crop, if you will. It's a fun movie, Tango and Cash. This is, of course, the film that united Stallone with Kurt Russell. They play two cops. Of course, Stallone is the by-the-books guy, and Kurt Russell is the more, let's get the job done anyway, I will. And, of course, they're both causing problems for this crime boss played by Jack Palance, and he has them framed and sent to prison, and they, of course, have to team up from that point forward. Yeah. This is a film that could just fall into the generic pile, but I feel like it's another one that does just enough to make it stand out. Like, for me, the first time I ever saw it, I thought, yeah, it is kind of generic until you get to the prison breakout scene. And all of a sudden, you're in this brilliantly conceived action sequence, like, not just for the level it's at, it's a great action sequence, like, of these two characters escaping, and it's just a fun film. Like, again, like Expendables, it's the kind of thing you just turn your brain off and sit down on a Friday night and watch. And I will be honest, like, I will say if there's a weak link out of the two, it's Stallone for me. I don't think this is one of his best performances. He's kind of like one note in this film, like right from the off, but Kurt Russell saves this film for me. Of course, this is around the age that Kurt Russell was just coming off a lot of the John Carpenter movies, so he was completely in his prime at this point. And yeah, he like just gives it all, I think. And yeah, it's a fun movie that people should go back to. Like, yeah, Tango and Cash.
Yeah, I'm going to come in with that. I agree. It's not Stallone's poor in it. He's far from it. Stallone is good in it. But yeah, I don't know, because Stallone's supposed to be the straight guy, isn't he? Because it's the classic comedy duo. Well, I mean, who dresses up like the woman? That one scene is fantastic. That, as you say, Kurt Russell coming off the back of some pretty good performances, some fantastic performances. Usually you wouldn't expect an actor to be told, by the way, you wouldn't mind dressing up like a woman and have someone slap your ass, would you? Why not? That is a fantastic scene when they're hiding from the police. Kurt Russell comes out dressed up with an eye. It's just, Kurt Russell is fantastic in that film. And Stallone is good as well. I mean, you do wish there was a Tango and Cash too, because I think it opened for that, because it was like they wanted to make a buddy comedy, but just a little over the top buddy comedy, where it was, you know, I'm sure they had a wee RV, like camper van with miniguns that came out the side. It was over the top, but what a good film. It was such a good film. I enjoyed it. It had so many memorable characters, memorable scenes. You want to go into prison and it's the big massive guy with the jaw and all that. You know, what, bring him to me. Oh, it's the potato heads and all that. Oh, bring him to me. Like, what happened to him? Oh, I broke his nose. You broke that nose. Like, I fondly remember this film. I love it. I'm with you. Great film.
Yeah, I may even be turning that on again right as soon as we're done with this recording tonight. Like, it is a film.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give that a bash tonight as well. It's one of the ones I've not watched that in years, but yeah, it's bringing back some good memories. I might give that a wee watch.
Yeah, you know, it plays the tropes, but it plays them right with, yeah, just the right tempo, right pitch, and the right stars. Like, yeah, good film, fun film. Check it out. So, Robert, why don't you round us off for tonight with your wild card?
Right, my wild card is the 1997 film Copland. I love this film. It's directed. I think the screenplay is also it's screenplay and it is directed by James Mangold, who, as if you know, has done some, I'd say, fantastic films out there. I would name them all, but there's a lot, and we're not here to talk about him. We're here to talk about Stallone. This film has got some stars in it. It's got Sylvester Stallone, Harvey. I can never say this guy. Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel, yeah.
Yep. Ray Liotta. Because I always say Ray Liotta. Robert De Niro. You know, they're the stars, if you would. The supporting cast is Peter Berg, Robert Patrick, Michael Rappaport. This is a great film, and the concept is so smart as well. You could argue that you could pass this as a modern film, especially considering the whole current climate in America. It's basically, Stallone is a sheriff in a small Jersey town. This place isn't real, by the way. The name of it I cannot now remember, but it's basically a small town in New Jersey where every single resident is a part of the police force. They're all part of the NYPD officers, you know, New York Police Department. So the whole film deals with this: how can a police officer police officers when they don't really look at his recognition, because he's a small town sheriff in an area where there's literally everyone's a police officer. I just think this is one of Stallone's, you know, we talk about Rocky, we talk about Rambo, of serious characters. I think this is another one that's fabulous. He isn't built in this. He's actually very overweight. And he plays on this Stallone allegedly always being a joke, not being intelligent. Everyone thinks that the character that he plays is a joke. You know, he tried to, I think when he was younger, Freddie Heflin, that's who Stallone plays in it. When he was younger, he tried to save a woman who had fell into the water, and it caused something to go wrong in one of his ears, so he's now partially deaf, which kind of stops him joining the NYPD. But somehow he can become a sheriff in a local town. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I would want to say that he is friendly with the local NYPD officers, but I don't think that's completely true. It's all to do with there's so much corruption and racial profiling going on in amongst this, and it's well known because it's a local town. They can do what they want, and this is one of his performances. I think it's Harvey Keitel is like the leader of this corruption ring. He is fantastic in it. It's classic him as well. He's brutal, but he's calculated, and he comes up with these magical plans. It's so well done. And it's great and all because they deal with internal affairs, who's played by Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro probably is in this film, you know, I guess a 2 hour long film, and I wouldn't say he's in this for more than 20, 30 minutes, maybe. And I'm probably giving him a lot more time than I think. But he plays a great part in it. He knows the area is corrupt. He knows it, and he wants to go and see Stallone's character. But Stallone, I think, is intimidated and doesn't want to betray them, and that weirdness that he thinks that they are his friends, and it's this whole police don't snitch on police. Yeah, it's weird. He almost buys into this kind of that he is stupid. He starts to believe the rumours around town when he's actually a hero. You know, he risked his own future to save someone. And it comes up in brief moments. He meets the woman that he saves. He's got a weird, I think he does actually weirdly love her. It's very well played out. It's great because Stallone being awkward seems to be Stallone's greatest strength. You really feel sorry for him. So basically, all starts to fall apart from the corrupt police officers is Donlan, who I think is that's wrong, is Harvey Keitel's nephew, goes off to shoot 2 black African American teenagers who were driving their car next to him. It's basically what it looked like was a gun was actually a tire iron, but at the point they don't know this, he shoots them. Now, police officers shooting African Americans is obviously a big deal in America. It still is a big deal right now. Even though it looks like a gun, in fact, during the scene it's painted as if it's a gun, then you realise it's a tire iron. This is where the corruption comes in now. He tries to plant a weapon. He's then spotted planting this gun, and this all falls apart. You know, Keitel's character now starts coming to plans for it. I think you should make out that you've tried to kill yourself, that we'll sort you out, we'll deal with you, we'll back you up here, we'll protect you. No, he's going to kill him. And it's basically all these things that are falling apart. Ray Liotta's character in it is fantastic as well. He is a police officer who I think has also got a drug addiction. His wife is a drug addict. Their house suspiciously burns down, and there's a whole storyline there as well. He then goes into not hiding with Sylvester Stallone's character, but he almost backs him up and helps him to say, look, this is corruption, here it is right in front of you, I'm going to be killed. And it's almost as if Liotta's character is the one that will push Stallone from being this very nervous, bought into this attitude, as I said, that he believes he's not a good cop and he's not a good person, that he's stupid, into this, no, wait a minute, you are a very good police officer, you're intelligent. And it basically all comes to a head. You know, De Niro, he goes to De Niro, and De Niro goes, I'm sorry, I offered you help. Internal Affairs want nothing to do with it. You need to do this yourself. Almost implying that he knows that Stallone will clean this up. And it doesn't go into one of these just big action shootouts. There is I think, I'm missing bits out because I don't want to completely ruin it all. I cannot highly recommend this film. I would put this up here with Rambo, for me, in terms of Stallone's acting. There is a kidnapping and stuff like that. There is a round, they fire a gun off in Stallone's other ear, again playing to the fact that they don't want to kill him because they feel sorry for him, and they think, we can literally kidnap someone from him, he'll do nothing. He basically goes and leads like an assault himself on this house with hardly any hearing, and it just shows that he is this hero police officer, and he takes, you know, the thick to Internal Affairs. This is fantastic film. Honestly, I think this is probably one of Stallone's best films. Again, I'm not want to go into the twists and the details. I've missed a lot of details out because I feel like they would proper give a lot of the storyline away. I feel like you really need to watch the film. I mean, it deals quite heavily with the corruption, the racial profiling, which I think is very common now in America. Not to say that every police officer is doing that. This just seems to be the theme coming out of America. And it does deal with this. How can you police a town of police officers when they don't respect you? And he never goes over the edge. He never breaks the law, as far as I remember. He's justified in everything he does. The town's called Garrison. It's not a real place by any means. It's not a real place in New Jersey. They've made this up, to show that what would happen if everywhere was a police officer. Every house was a police officer. How could you police that? That's all I've got to say on it. I could be here forever. Again, but Rambo. I don't know if you've got anything to add to it.
I've actually never seen it.
I've not seen it either.
You're joking me with the cast. With this cast, you've never seen it.
The most underrated, because what a cast, as you've said, then we've both missed it. We've both completely missed it.
It's fantastic. I mean, it is great. The budget for this was $50 million and it made 63.7, so well blew it. But for me, it's what Stallone is, isn't it? Stallone is big, heavy in it. He's a heavy set guy. He's no ripped and all that in it. And it's almost as if he's took that Rocky element. Everybody says, "Oh, Rocky was an idiot" and stuff like that, or an idiot, uneducated, and way of life kind of affected him. And he's almost putting that. He's low in confidence. He starts to believe the rumours. He plays it so well, and he is awkward in the moments. He just wants to show everyone that he can be a good police officer in a town of complete corruption, but no one listens to his power. And they laugh at him. I think there is a scene where a small girl says, "You've got no power here." Not to quote Lord of the Rings, "You've got no power here," but it's another one of these fantastic Stallone films where he shows, by the way, there is an actor there. There's a very good, serious actor. And I think the cast as well sums it up. That he's in such a, he's in it more than De Niro in it, and there's not action. There's not stupid guns all over the place. Fantastic. Great.
Yeah, I feel like it's really appropriate that this was Stallone's comeback, really, and that we end off the night with that, I think it's the perfect way to finish, really.
Well, I mean, we do have a few honourable mentions. I feel like we have missed a couple of films out.
Yeah, I feel like it's remarkable we got through the worst category and didn't talk about Judge Dredd, although you kind of love that film, so...
love it's a strong word. I mean, do you know, I would say there's people watching this, will probably say, "Why have you not said stop or my mum will shoot?" But as we did say, I've never seen it. It's on Netflix. I'm not going to watch it because I've been told it's dreadful. I had a rough idea in my head. I mean, you haven't seen it either. Have you seen it, Ryan? Stop or my mum will shoot?
No, not seen it either.
I mean, the story of that sounds fantastic. That Arnold Schwarzenegger had such a rivalry with him that he told him, I might be doing this film, you should do it. And he actually did it to try and show that he can do comedy. Stallone baited him into this. Schwarzenegger baited Stallone into that film, and it was shocking. Judge Dredd for me is up there with Demolition Man, in the sense that when you look back at them, they are pretty bad films, but at the time we enjoyed them. So I find it hard to bash them, especially Demolition Man. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you ask me to put Judge Dredd next to Dredd, I will smack that all day. I will use Carl Urban's face from here to here to smack Stallone's weird clonage, weird law thing, the other joint. Demolition Man, the plot is pretty solid, actually, in a weird sense, that it's like a whole corruption. He wants this, man who runs society, who controls it all, wants to get rid of this evil man, so let's bring back the most evilest thing we can. So, I mean, I get the storyline. It's just Wesley Snipes looks as if he has so much fun with it. It's almost as Wesley Snipes, oh God, this is such a stupid, tacky film, that if I ham it up, it actually makes it better. I don't know where to put it, if I'm honest with you. I didn't know where to put it as my underrated or as my worst. I mean, Copland was going 100% down and underrated. I couldn't pick a more underrated Stallone performance, especially in 1997 when people had started to assume that he was only an action star. But God, Demolition Man, wow! Like, I mean, have we got any other honourable mentions for Sylvester Stallone? As I'm quickly having a wee check here.
I feel like after Demolition Man, it's just going to be trailing off if we bring anything else up.
Probably.
Just one thing about the night as well. See, when we've been doing our best film and we've been doing it underrated, we've been given wee tiny bits of the plot and we don't really say too much about it because we don't give it away. See, when it comes to the worst film, all three of us just were bastard the worst film and like that. This is what happened here.
We don't want people to watch it.
We gave everything away.
It's just so crap. Because, well, the rubbish. Yeah, I've just had a quick gander here. I think we were right. If we start bringing up other films, they're all kind of the same, aren't they? Like Daylight, Trapped in a Tunnel. Oh, Cliffhanger, Trapped Up in the Alps. Like, oh, God. What a time for Copland to come out, by the way, 1997. Has he had maybe the biggest come down ever?
I don't know, because at the same time as well, his name's got staying power as well, which is one thing.
Has it now?
I'd say so. I'd say if you asked anyone in the street still, if they knew who Sylvester Stallone was, they would still say yeah.
That's always interesting questions, isn't it? Like, where does Rocky and Rambo hold up? Will those be hold up forever? Like, would you think, would they go down as classics of cinema? Those two films.
Rocky will. I don't know that like Rambo gets the respect it deserves, to be honest. I feel like Rambo's lumped in with the sequels.
Yeah, it's pretty horrifying. Because I would say Rocky 1 and Rambo, yeah, definitely deserve to be. But I don't know if it's because at least Rocky 2, as much as it was a bit more glamorous, it still had its pretty serious staying power.
Yeah.
Whereas Rambo just went straight to the glamorous Hollywood shooting.
So yeah, that wraps up our coverage of Sylvester Stallone. This has been a mammoth recording session. Who knows how long it will seem by the time you guys finally see it, but we feel like we've been here for hours. So, but guys, I think we did this man justice. And we all pretty much know what we're going to be discussing next week. It's a film that is coming out in 2 days from the time we're recording it. By the time you're seeing this episode, it'll have been out for 2 days. So we will be here next week to give our honest and probably lengthy thoughts on this particular project. But until then, Robert, Ryan, thank you for joining me.
All hail Darkside.
No, cheers for having us on. I did enjoy we catch up over Stallone.
Yep, and I look forward to the next one. And to everyone at home, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Love you. No, I've got a full hatred, but we're not here to do that. We're not here to rant about Whedon.
Oh, I think we'll be ranting about Whedon next week, to be honest, if we cover what we think we'll be covering next week.
Hopefully, once we find the way to get round it and find off the proper streaming services.
I've found the way I'm doing it, so
yeah. You're going to Sky or something?
I'm going Now TV personally, so
I think that's where I may be going with it. Maybe. One way or another, I will see that film, Peter.
I know. You'd go to the ends of the earth. I'm pretty convinced.
For Zach, I'd kill Ryan.